Hey guys, what's up? Just want to promote today's sponsor is Anchor, where this podcast is actually being made. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. That's another big thing about Anchor. You can make it straight from your phone or your computer, and you can sync them, I believe. It's really cool. Anchor will distribute your podcast and put it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, everywhere. And you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So make sure you check them out. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the Clash Gaming Podcast. And today we are mainly going to be talking about Jake Paul versus Anisam Gibb. So basically, it all started back a couple months ago. I don't remember when. I think Anisam Gibb called out Jake Paul, and no one even knew who he was. And I didn't even know who he was really until KSI brought it up at the press conference. And then I guess, and now it's happening. Pretty much, Jake Paul's only really taking this fight to get to JJ, because he wants to fight KSI, obviously, and avenge his brother, which I think is cool. This is a title fight, I guess, technically, because if you remember, Jake Paul got a green belt after defeating Deji back in August, and I guess if Anisam Gibb wins, he wins that. I don't really know how YouTube boxing works about the champions and stuff. I guess I don't really know how that works, honestly, but I'm guessing that's how it works. So the weigh-in was today. Jake Paul weighed in at 191. And Gibb was 188, I believe. I've kind of noticed Jake Paul's trying to act like Conor McGregor, with just his whole new beard, the way he was acting at the weigh-in. He's trying to be Conor McGregor, so that's cool, I guess. He's trying to be crazy like Gibb. So for their fight styles, Gibb is pretty much he's kind of like KSI, but even crazier. He just goes around swinging and no real strategy, it kind of seems, which worked the last two times. So I feel like his main strategy is to just make his opponents choke and scare them away, so he can just hit them over and over again. Whereas Jake Paul, at least according to his trainers and Logan Paul and all them, is a technical fighter, and I guess I agree. He definitely kind of was technical against Deji. He kind of really didn't need to be honest, because Deji's just, it's Deji. That's pretty much how they fight. Last fight was for Anisam Gibb versus Jay Swingler, I believe, back in August. It was 4 2-minute rounds. Anisam Gibb got the decision. He won every single round. But Jay Swingler did catch him a couple times. And Jake Paul is way better than Swingler, to be honest. So that's not a good sign for Gibb, to be honest. And of course, Jake Paul's last fight was his title fight against Deji, if you want to call it a title fight, I guess. It was 6 3-minute rounds, of course. Only went to the 5th one because Jake Paul got the TKO victory. And as for that fight, Deji definitely stopped him several times. And Deji did some work on him, which also is not a good sign for Jake Paul. Jake Paul, I'm assuming they've both gotten a lot better. I'm assuming they've both gotten a lot better. Jake's gotten faster, I'm hoping, because Jake was throwing kind of slow last fight, I noticed. So I'm assuming Jake's gotten a lot faster. Gibb has gotten a tiny bit more strategic and make sure he won't get caught. And he's just swinging wildly, bringing that energy. Anisam Gibb's got energy, that's for sure. And Jake Paul, he's got strategy, which, that's weird to say, honestly. Jake Paul's got strategy. So, there's a lot of pressure on Jake Paul in this fight because he really can't lose this fight. If he loses it, he loses all credibility. Well, not necessarily, but he loses everything. He probably won't be boxing ever again. He won't, everyone's gonna laugh at him because he's been talking so much crap, and he's been basically saying Neeson Gibb is terrible and everything, and if he gets beat, that's gonna be a really bad look. If he wins though and gets to go fight KSI, well, and that's great for him. Obviously, it's exactly what he wants. As for who I think will win, I think Jake Paul's probably gonna win it. Probably by decision, honestly. I feel like if not decision, probably in the fifth or sixth round after Neeson Gibb gets all tired from swinging crazily. Assuming Jake Paul can defend early in the fight, he'll be just fine. Guarantee it. If he can defend early in the fight, he'll be just fine. He'll be able to grab that decision. As for Jake Paul versus KSI, that one's gonna be an interesting one. I mean, I'm just gonna say this: if Logan Paul couldn't beat KSI, I doubt Jake can beat KSI. Although to be fair, Logan did beat KSI. Like he really did. It was just a deduction. But yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll find out tomorrow how Jake Paul does if he'll ever get that fight. And yeah, that's it for today's episode. Stay tuned.